I don't know what was wrong with me, but teachers would reach out, troubled kid. Is he autistic, or I don't know. I could never speak. I went through huge parts of my life not even speaking. I spoke in whispers. It's weird. Everyone did in the house, mostly. Skateboarding, what it represented, the ability to create, to express myself. It became my voice. This is where it started with me. I was 12 or 13 at the time.
13 years old.
Yeah. And at that time, I'd already won a lot of amateur contests. Big fish, small pond, tiny pond. Midsummer, my dad was annoyed. You know, he never wanted me to skate. And he goes, hey, you'll grow up to be a bum, and look at the culture. And he goes, look, you've had every benefit, you inherited good genes, you're smart, so don't waste it. It's like, all right, into the summer, you're growing up. Skating has to end as soon as school starts. And sit, grow up. Yes, sir. So I was skating every day, 5 hours a day. You're just making the most of it.
There was a skater that I was sponsoring at the time from Florida named Tim Scroggs, and he called me and said, you must see this 13-year-old kid in Florida named Rodney Mullen. And he encouraged me to bring Rodney out to this contest.
We went to the contest, and I remember seeing all these guys that I looked up to in the magazines. And I was just a retarded kid in all the pads.
For the rest of us, it was more like, you know, doing different wheelies or manual variations, some handstand tricks, and that was freestyle at the times.
I remember I did my run, and I remember looking at the judges, and they were looking at my board and not me.
It was on a whole nother level. When I first seen him skate, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Most people get on a skateboard, they stand on the deck, and they remain on the deck. Rodney looked at the board and went, I can ride every side of this. I can ride the nose standing up, I can ride the tail standing up, I can ride it upside down, I can ride on the edge.
So I did my run. So they gave me scores that, whoa, they put me in first place. And I remember driving back, and I had this trophy going, I don't think I deserve this, but I did what I did. I did what I meant to do. And in my heart, there was closure. And I was saying goodbye, and flew away. And I didn't skate anymore.
You stopped.
Yeah. And what he says goes. And I got a call. Skate News, some little, wasn't even a magazine, called from California. And I remember, Rodney, come inside. Long distance from California. They want to interview you. Just, wow. And that's where I said it. He goes, hey, I guess you shouldn't stop now. I have 36 trophies, or had. I have 0 trophies because I threw them away or gave them away. Because I hate them. My mom, she was a concert pianist when she was a little kid, and I grew up around music, classical music. So I grew up hearing it and reading about these guys, these great composers, and Beethoven's music always struck me. Always. He had this fire, you know? I remember reading the story of him going deaf and pushing himself into self-isolation, and that's where he became himself. And to me, that was wow, don't let anything poison your individuality. Be away, break away, and look in, not outward. What makes us all do what we do at a high level is an inspiration that comes so deep as almost like a controlled desperation. And if you can't tap into that, then it just extinguishes. And you can't do it through here. It's to see way down in there. My biggest blessing was being in isolation. That was my blessing. Maybe if I were somewhere else out here, I would have been like them. Anyone who's had any degree of fame becomes very sensitive to pelting you with praise. And too much of it can have the weight of a tombstone. And Stacy never did that. It was, say fires are combustible, not because of the gas, but because of the vapors. And his laugh was quite like those vapors. My best memories were flying in, going to Tony's, hanging out, seeing what he did. This freakish alien, you know? That's what it was. You know, X-Men, look at his crazy freaking, we're all mutants. And look at his superpowers. And I would look at him in amazement.
This is a song about a superhero named Tony. It's called Tony's Thing.
That creates this so much more pressure because there's no gratification in winning. There's only upholding something so that you don't lose it. And it is staggering. It usurps the joy of it. It's like a Kafka short story. You build something, but you can't live in the house because you sit around guarding it. My dad, maybe a week, 2 weeks before the contest, before I left, he goes, "So you know, this will be your last one." It was always lingering, but he really meant it. And things had been getting bad around the home. Real bad, real bad. And so my sister had gotten anorexic, and I had started to go down a path that way, and I was just mad. And so he just said, "That's it." And he goes, "You're going nowhere in life, and I'm doing this to save you. Stop. I think the skateboarding is making you crazy." And so I couldn't focus. That's the only contest I lost. My mind was gone. I just... When I came back, having lost, he goes, "You know, I want to see how you bounce back from this. How you handle this is what will define you." I remember I was super thin, and I was falling apart in school because I really didn't care anymore. And I remember he couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't acting out. You don't do that in the house. I mean, that's how, you don't do that. But the thing is I withered in a way that you could not control. And I was spinning. I remember the teachers and stuff, like going to counseling, we don't know what's wrong, we know something's wrong at home. Eat. My dad is not some evil man. Like, was trying to do the best he could for what he had with what he had with me. But those are those formative years, you know, teenager, when things start to hurt in a different way. When I found skateboarding, it was the first thing I loved. I mean, I loved it. and it being pulled away from me hardened something inside of me where nothing mattered. He came to me, I was in the garage, and he goes, you know, I think that this has been hard on you. This is months afterwards. He goes, you can skate because I think you need that. But I think that, in a sense, what's wrong with you, it has to do with the pressure of contests. So you can't compete.
Really? Your father said that?
Yeah. Contests gave me the ability to continue to do what defined me. But what they came to represent was, don't fail. Everything I am today somehow is probably fed by my need for acceptance. With my dad, that's not necessarily the acceptance sons are hoping for, you know? Hey, it's good that you did this, but do you get the point? You're dominating something that really doesn't matter, and apply yourself to something meaningful. But because of Tony and Caballero and these guys, that gave me a sense of acceptance and belonging. It was like reciprocated and bounced back and churned in a synergistic way. And that's what created the Bones Brigade. I spent a lot of time in the stacks in the libraries, and you're looking at these stacks of unreadable masterpieces that men devoted their lives standing on the shoulders of geniuses before them, Bertrand Russell, Principia Mathematica, and all these things that, who will read those? How will they change society? How do they really factor into things? Me? I was able to contribute with a lot of tricks. Those tricks now have names, and those tricks factor into what everybody else does. In a very meaningful way, I have helped create a vocabulary by which this community communicates. I mean, you can hear people chat, listen to how skaters talk. These are all words and expressions, things that we create. It's our language, but it's also physical. And it helps define us as individuals, how we fit within that framework. And it helps define the community itself. And so when I look and I think of the contribution of all these geniuses and the smell and the browning paper of these dusty books that no one will read, I think that I am so rich, and what I have done has meaning. So, I don't know what that answers. Where do we start?